Celestial event. No words. Words. Describe. I should have said. The poem. So beautiful. Beautiful. So beautiful. The people need to see what I've seen. They need to see.
These are the spiritual as much as physical voyages of the Co-Federation Solar Sun, our starship, planet Earth, restored to heaven on our and every earth as our spiritual, genealogical, local, global.
My family is filled with poetesses and poets who are also musicians and co-secretary generals, co-secretaries,
to research and understand, sustain, and explore are and all are in fact familiar new worlds of family community, of the tree of love, life, and light throughout the solar system and universe, to restore, renew, and sustain our and new life and new sustainable civilizations, CAD, present, retroactively, and now, rebellion, and future, always balancing, to lovingly, genealogically, and boldly become and be space-time travelers whenever and where we have in dimensional reality, all in part been before, if also never been before, in alternative space-time lines that are circles, which are of the universal EQ, IQ, and SQ continuum. Balance, combinations of the ever-expanding circle which spirals and grows, budding and blooming in space-time. Love and live enlightened, ever young, long, and prosper all both in each and every one. Engage your heart, mind, soul, and body, for we all, both in each, and each both in all, can, must, and marvelously and miraculously make it so.
In the thunderous blast, she emerges, her eyes on fire, the mighty priestess. She is risen from the nativity of Caldera. She is risen from the fires of the earth. She is risen. She is risen.
We are risen.
She is risen. She is risen.
We are risen.
We all are risen by my intercession.
Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. Om Mahalakshmi Mrudapriya Maharupa महाविद्या महापातकनाशिनी महामाया महासत्त्व महाशक्ति महारथी महाभोगा महेश्वर्या महावीर्या महाबला महाबुद्धि महासिद्धि महायोगीश्वरेश्वरी महातंत्र महामंत्र महायंत्र महासना महायागप्रमाराध्या ओम महाभैरवपूजिता महेश्वर महाकल्पक महातांडव साक्षिणी महाकामेशमहिषी महात्रिपुरसुन्दरी चतुष्षष्टि उपचाराढ्या चतुष्षष्टि कलामयी महाचतुष्षष्टि कोटि योगिनी गणसेविता Celestial and God. No. What? God. I should have said. Oh. So beautiful. So beautiful.
We have our poetesses and poets with us. They're with me in my heart, and I'm acting as their representative. Here they are.
This day I call the heavens and the earths as witnesses intercessorily for and hopefully and prayerfully not against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose love and life with light, so that you and your children may live. For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not our new millennial law.
Okay. Another Patricia. Lady May Sunflower for obscurity and blackness. This is Anna Marie, singing Christian, and I am Cherokee, Cheyenne, Blackfoot, and out of Washington, Dakota. And I am also a French, English, and German. That means we are all related. We embrace the new millennial golden rule as the law of Alltimate of the sacred ground that is Mother Earth and all the planets of all the universes.
Welcome to our broadcast. We are broadcasting from the heart and headquarters of the family community, the one family community of love, life in the light of balance, of the co-federation of earth and planets of the new millennial golden rule. Namaste. The divine within me greets the divine within you. I'll add some more greetings in just a moment. As you know, what we do here is something called the LU Savioral Mystery. It is something that we are offering to our extended family and community and trying to invite and have them also act, Shekinahs and young Shekinahs and Hekinahs, as co-hostesses and co-hosts of these broadcasts for you. I have a roster of people that I am wanting to co-hostess and co-host. some of whom are very close genealogical relations to me, and some who are only slightly more distant, but have shown leadership in the area of sustainability and egalitarian culture and 50-50 gender balance and reparations to women and reparations to youth, and in fact reparations to all people, including old men, who by practicing patriarchy completely destroy their chance of eternal life. So what we know now is that the anthropology of patriarchy is definable and observable, and its results, its symptoms are definable and observable. And my dears, you are suffering all of the end stages of patriarchy. You have here in North America an inverted feminism that became nothing more than a female form of patriarchy. And therefore, the situation here is very, very destabilized in North America. The culture has become yang-yang. The yin force is very, very weak in this culture. And as a result, there's great danger for many people, including my own family and your family and everybody's family, because we're all one family and one family community. So what we want you to do is go to 5050now.wordpress.com. Read the New Millennial Golden Rule, which is in the upper right corner, and make it your law. It is your law. I have delivered it to you as a first but not last or only cosmic Christ and the risen goddess Astra, the goddess of divine justice, a cosmic solar goddess of the ancient Atlantis civilization that thrived for thousands and thousands of years, centered on the Isle of Crete in the Mediterranean, and was the world's most best known peaceful seafaring culture with great exchange with other cultures around it. And what we have done is we have offered this as a model for our times, where we become not just seafaring, but interplanetary spacefaring, and therefore opening the stargates to make that accomplishable too. I reincarnate a number of people. Many of them are women and men who are working through me, who have worked for egalitarian culture and an ideal utopian life for all people. And this includes, this month particularly, the remembrance of Mariam Lambert and Tom Paine, and of course Susan B. Anthony and Rosa Parks and many, many other people, Z Budapest and Marija Jubotis these last several days and months. But my birthday is an equinox birthday, and my conception day is December 25th. I am what you call a cosmic Christ, and I am promoting the observance of all the dates around the equinoxes, with the equinox as the kind of anchor points, both the spring and the autumnal equinox, which is the time of my birth, to focus on the mother-child relationship reparatively, and the importance for culture, and how the family and extended family and community can promote the appreciation of the divine feminine, so that all people, female and male, can benefit optimally, because all people have the X chromosome. Not only women, but men have an X chromosome. Men need the divine feminine within them as well as the divine masculine. And all people do at all ages. So, and we actually have it, but within our yang-yang culture, our patriarchal culture, the yin aspects and the divine feminine aspects have been very badly eroded and are very terribly stressed right now. And so that is why we do these broadcasts, to hearken your attention to this and give you the New Millennial Golden Rule law. Underneath it are the 11 steps, which make it easy to implement. Not a big deal. Most of it is just refraining from patriarchal activities rather than having to do that much, different than what you already do. And the names of my family and community are already listed among, and yours too are represented. As you looked on the page, you'll see the sermons. We all have a dream to make reality now. And below that, under the grassroots courts, at grassroots congresses, courts, and assemblies section, you'll find the category among the representatives, you. And I am going to be making some phone calls to some of these folks right now And of course, I am including all of you. You are all represented there because all people on earth are no more than 50th Kazina and 50th cousin from everyone else. And therefore, I am capable of representing you. I am already on the branches of your clan and your family and extended community. And I do represent you until you can represent yourself. I am acting intercessorily for you. And I pray to Goddess God that that will be enough for now and you will not come to harm through the delays that you have in understanding the value of this. So now we're going to make a couple of phone calls, and then we'll be doing our LU co-savioral ceremonies, the LU Eleusinian Mysteries Revealed, or LU co-savioral Mysteries Revealed ceremonies. In the ancient Eleusinian mysteries of Atlantis, the entire community would come. It was officiated by women, not by men. The women were the high priestesses of this ceremony, which was to confer apotheosis, that is, immortality, divinity, given through the mother goddess, usually associated with Ceres or Hera, or sometimes they were given different names depending on what part of the world they were being done. And her daughters, which were sometimes given the names Persephone or Hebe or Spring or Iastra, depending on what part of the world these ceremonies were being done. And the Atlantis had a very large reach. Their people really were excellent sailors, and they touched, and they also were very peaceful people and were very welcomed wherever they went. So they really reached a lot of people, and a lot of people were influenced by these ceremonies, but particularly were concentrated in the Mediterranean area. And we know that they did reach ancient Israel, and that they did learn from them there. So that's what we're doing, and I'm going to just go ahead and take it off of the screen share of the graphic so that you can see the usual beautiful the ceremony, the heart light and the flowers. I'm here to do it. There it is. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do this. And we say this in honor, of course, particularly of the people who really brought the women together were Ray and Harriet. But that wasn't entirely by choice. Clara, her sister, Ray's sister, would have done more had she not been separated from her sister by the immigration process, and they from their mothers and their Shekinah by the immigration process that spread the family out in different cities. And I don't know to what extent they had the telephones at the beginning of this and how well they were able to keep in touch by phone. But at some point that got a little bit better, but we really don't know that much about this story. And it's the kind of thing that if we gather together, we can talk about. And so let me just do the ceremony. And so let me say all the different names of the women that we also associate with this. I want to start out with Miriam's mother, Naomi, and Hadass. I want to start out with Julianne Marie and I. I want to start off with us together, two sisters. We want to start out with Harriet and little Ya, who is suffering from Alzheimer's, and other people in our family have suffered from other patriarchy-induced diseases. It is what caused Harriet to prematurely leave this planet, and I believe that we can bring Ray and Harriet and Rose and Internet, all of them back through the Stargates, because we are related to the family of the Alexander Margulies, who did marry Carl Alexander Sweet Sagan. And we do know that he was not exactly a fool. He was a very brilliant fellow. And his mother had my name, her name was Rachel. And he had a sister whose name is Carrie, and who I've been in touch with. And we talked a little bit about their mother. And we're inviting them, and we're also inviting Vanessa's family, Vanessa and her mother, who I'm giving the names of Victoria to her mother, and Estrella, Mariama, and Libertia to some of the Shekinah, older age Shekinah, not very old, but currently adults who've been maybe in their 40s and 50s and 60s. And also I've given her younger Shekinah, in addition to herself. We've got Sharon and Raquel, because I don't know their actual names yet, but we want to. And we also very much include Stacy Anastasia with her mother, Cheryl. We very much include Solma with her mother, Meredith, and their great and grandmothers. That we think that they likely had the names of something like Vedanta and Giselle, Hindu names and Hungarian names, and we also Hungarian, Romania, and we also include Barbara with Rachel, Marie, and Danielle, Juliet. And then we also include the mothers with sons. That includes Julianne Marie. I have a marvelous, miraculous nephew, Harlan Lewis Laviz. We have another mother with a son. We have Mary and her son Ross. And we also, Marion does also have sons, Yishai and Amos, who are younger than Hadass. And we have even Stacey Anastasia has a boy, in addition to her two daughters. She has two daughters, who are Natalie and Elisa, I believe. And we also are including Susan with all her sisters. Susan, the silver kind, because silver kind comes into this story. Ray was a Margulies born, but she married into the silver kind, the silver kind family. We have a very famous family there, very important in terms of the world's religious understanding. Susan, Rabbi Susan, and her sister Sarah, and Jodine and Laura, and their mother, Beth Ann, who I am bringing back through the Stargates because she really was one of the recent victims of bad medicine in this culture. And we want to bring her back. And we've spoken with one of the people who knew her, who was a good friend and a descendant of the family of Edgar Cayce, who talked a lot about reincarnation and the ability to bring people back. So, you know, it's very interesting how she was a very close friend of someone who worked with her, who was connected with Edgar Cayce, who was a very major, well, you might call it theosophist or New Age person who recognized the reality of the Akashic record. The Akashic record which is something that is related to the film of Contact, although it isn't spelled out. And we also have Rose and her daughter Annette and her granddaughter Marcia, and there's other women on that tree that we don't know well enough. Rose had a mother who we know as Mari, who is a goddess name, the god of loving, flowing kindness and water. And you know, I mean, while I'm talking, I should be holding up the heart light and the budding blooming flowers. I'm holding them up now. I'm talking and saying, now all of these women are gathered with us. I'm also gathering, obviously, Anna Marie and her mother, Ma Patricia. Ma Patricia and Anna Marie are very, very important because none of us would be anywhere if it wasn't for the land beneath our feet. And this land belonged initially to Native American people, and they were driven, in many cases, off of their land by the European immigrants and by the military. And it was a cruel process. And those people had great wisdom, particularly about nature. And we are yet learning from them many, many things. But they are a people who were very badly injured. Now, people of Jewish heritage and Celtic heritage also went through terrible, and African American heritage went through terrible Holocaust-like situations, particularly the African Americans in this culture. And they also, we had Lillian Gay, who stayed and took care of Jackie as a baby, while Ray was gathering the women and taking care of all of her children, both of her children and her whole community, and all the women and their children and youth. And this was during the Depression, so, you know, this was quite an achievement. We're also including, and have included everyone who knows this. We've included Barbara, and we believe her name might have been Heidi. There's a very major woman involved in goddess theology in Germany by the name of Heidi Abendroth. So we're connecting Barbara to her and their daughters, Linda and Diana. And there's younger daughters who come through that branch too. Through Jackie, we have Donna, we have Abby, we have and we don't know Donna's mother's name. That's another area where the patriarchy here shows up in the way the family doesn't know anything. Now, we also know that the men of our family had mothers, obviously, and we included Rose, which was our father's mother. And all men have mothers as much as women have mothers. It's important to start the ceremonies with the mothers and the daughters combinations, because that's where the real intensity of the divine feminine is most concentrated. But men also have divine feminine within them, and they can't sustain life or do well in the world or do good in the world without it. So so we're including that. We're also including Mari, and we're including Grandma Popper. We don't know about her Shekinah, but they go all the way back to the beginning of time. All of these Shekinah go back to the beginning of time. Nearby, we've seen we're also including people. Today is the Chinese Lantern Festival. It's the culmination of the New Year's with the emphasis on light, and we're showing the heart light. And we are including some very famous Chinese women who are being written to and already have been contacted by me. Other women who are very active on important issues pertaining to our world. And obviously the greatest number of people on this planet are Chinese. So we have to remember they gave us the yin-yang concept, even though their culture has not really integrated it that well in their social relationships. And they're struggling, and they're having a lot of problems there, just as we are, especially environmentally. And they're kind of on the cusp between going solar and continuing down the old polluting route that is destroying everything and everyone. So now we're including them, and we've included Anna Maria and her mom Patricia, and that includes Laura and Martha, and that includes Rosa, Astrid, and Rachel Marie, and it includes what am I saying? Rosa, Astrid, and Rosa and April, and Edith and Angela, and then there's young men on that family tree. We'll come back to that. We want to bring up the young men very importantly. There's a bunch of young men in our family, and they also have the divine feminine and the right to apotheosis, equinox, true Q status. And one of them is my nephew, who I love very greatly. And all of these young men are very important to me, and all of the women are very important to me. And the men become fully empowered in their love power way, which is like that of Atlantis. They become wizard-like. They become God-like through the connections of women. It is what the Eleusinian mysteries tell us. That is the simple truth. And so let's see. And I've also mentioned Dorothy. We've talked about Stacy Anastasia with her mother Cheryl. There's other women on that tree, Merle, and there's younger women, Andrea and Rhea, and Jill and others. And all of these are very, very important. And let's see, I'm sure I'm leaving out a lot. And of course, we've got these famous families that we've been in touch with. We have talked with Brackle. They came from Chicago and have family in Chicago. Brackle, Skakel, Fitzgerald, Kennedy, Bouvier, Cuomo, that whole Fitzgerald, that big line, and very important family for North Americans, very much touched all of our lives. And we've also included a number of Hispanic people. We have Anna Marie, who's involved in Millennial Park gardening, and her sister Julianne. We have also another gardener, Francesca, who is the mother of Rachel and Alexandra and Juliana. And we're in touch with them, and they're included. And of course, as I think I said, a number of Feldmarian family, Barbara and her daughters, and Rachel Marie and Danielle Juliet, and Soma and Meredith and Soma, very great in poetry and art. And we have people who in our family who have touched and love piano, and people who are carrying forth the proclivity to great violins and harpists and all of the beautiful instruments of the orchestra. When we get together, we're going to make a very beautiful noise. So I'm going to do this ceremony, and if I've left anybody's names out, and then I'll also, after the ceremony, I'll also say the names of the older men of our family who are working through me and are trying to bless all of the older men of our family, but we cannot do it very well if we do not get the engagement of their women. Also who know about this family are all my neighbors, Margaret and Susan and Louise and Judy, and also we've also got Tracy, Deborah, and Julie and Dory, Arlene, Dale and Dana, and Helen on another branch that came into my life, a very important branch that I want to honor because I did not know the value of gathering women earlier on in their experiences with me, and they I think, suffered also from that. We also want to include, of course, Batya, Helene, Sherry, Arlene, Thelma, Lee, Thelma, and Arlene, and all of them, Lillian, Adele. There's a whole lot. There's especially today is Sally's birthday, and Ruby, and Pearl, and Deborah, and so I'm going to make sure to call Sally today on all your behalf. And she is, I say this is the true President's Day, and she's a true president, and so is, well, she's better than that. She's co-secretary general, and so is Susan there in Israel. Yes, already. And other famous women of Israel who we've been in touch with this week and will continue to be. So now I'm just going to do the ceremony. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both and each, and everyone as soon as possible. And we'll say Namaste, Vikatria Oyansin, becomes Mitakuya Kosevirol, Kong Sam Pax, becomes Kong Pax culture. Amir Pache, and we have some neighbors also taking care of our kitties here. So we're including the kitties. You know, you've seen them many times, and their family, May and Amber and Jasmine and Laura, and we're including the women of their families first. There are some men in the family who are very caring too, and actually musicians. So we'll tell you about them when we all gather, and if I've left anyone out, you include them, okay? You know who I'm talking about. We include, I think I've said everybody's name that I can think of. And we'll say, Tiobes, Sedleric, Mir Pache, Merci, Chansluvag, and Chus and Chow, and all the languages, Sayonara and Chop Chop, and especially love and live eternally young, long and prosper everyone, longest and prosper everyone in all. Okay, and we'll say this again, holding the heart light and the flowers in this way. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers in water. Hugs and love to all, both in each and everyone as soon as possible. Now, Julia Marie, Barbara, there's another woman on our tree who gets our meals, Ivy, let's see, Marion, I have great expertise about early childhood bonding issues. We're drinking the milk of human kindness. Our culture needs extended onto breastfeeding. Every culture on earth produces geniuses that way. When people do not get that, they are somewhat deprived, although they can make up what they have lost by later life, because the mind, the spirit of people is very resilient, and if they're given a chance to heal, they will. And we have many modalities and therapies. One of our friends, who I'm also including in the ceremony, Lynn, and I'm also including Lynn and Nisa and Iona, and another Iona Vargas, and also included Lynn and her mother, Ruth, and her grandmothers, who were Native Americans also, as well as Europeans. And they introduced me to Emery and Patricia, and also right near there by Jennifer and her children. So Lynn Marquis's daughter. So we're including them all, and we'll drink the milk of human kindness for all, both in each and every one as soon as possible. Including you all, and we'll drink the water of loving, living planets. That will regain and sustain our planet Earth to be in the light of balance, on behalf of all, both in each, and representing all, both in each and everyone as soon as possible. There, delicious. And now we'll do the birthday cakes. Okay. With the starting around the equinox and the spring and autumnal seasons, we'll share all our birthdays and then go all the years round and make this circle of the birthdays. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate birthdays and conception days and name days and holy days. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days together, past, present, and future, as equinox true cues, co-secretary generals, co-saviorage. No boundaries. This is one planet. We're all nativities. We're all holy nativities. Once we get past patriarchy, and we'll and have egalitarian culture, and we have we'll say again, holding it this way, we'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our Birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days together. Past, present, and future as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary General's Co-Save Your Ass. In other words, Equinox True Qs are essentially immortal. And it's not strange to think of it. It's not a strange thing if you relieve stress on people. Their bodies have natural healing mechanisms. They don't age. Okay, and we'll do our consciousness currencies, our Shekinah of past generations, our Shekinah of current generations, and our young Shekinahs and her Hekinahs, age 37 and younger, especially important. They're all in the denominations of zillions and trillions. And I give these out all over my neighborhood, and people love them. Why don't you make some? They're very easy to make. Just go to the website. You'll see your pictures there. A lot of people who are famous and others who are unknown, but also just as valuable, because that's common sense. And we are the royalty of the common. That's who we are. Okay, and now here's the big family tree. You're familiar with this. It's got our great grandmother's pictures, and then the representative group of Shekinahs who are currently a little older, but not really old. They're getting younger through this process, and all our younger Shekinahs and Hekinahs here, our sisters and brothers, our young couple, our lovely family, and they represent all of our family circle and all the people of the world, really, through us learning this ceremony. And we'll say, and then, of course, we are supposed to have strong feelings of bonding to one another. People who don't usually have some kind of impairment that's operating, or a great deal of patriarchal stress in their life. So I will especially try to help these very close people to me understand their value, and my value as a circle with all of our extended family together and community. Oh, and I think I forgot to mention Georgine and Malka and Shirley, and all of their Shekinah and female and male, age 37 and younger. That's a very important person. I've almost forgotten to mention it because I mentioned her earlier in the day on another message, and sometimes I forget that I'm not repeating myself enough. So let's repeat that again, and we'll also honor this this couple of young generations and all of their circle of Shekinah and Hekinahs. And again, with older generations, getting younger. And here we'll go back to the larger family tree, and we'll do this. Okay, and then I always like to include our bowl of fruit that is so beautiful in its coloration, like the rainbow. That's us. We're the gems of the rainbow of humanity, and all people are when they know their true gifts and why they're in various family constellations together. That constellation is a gift from Goddess God, and if we can not be weighed down by patriarchy and get the gifts of equally appreciated female and male by all the members of the family, then you have incredible genius and goddess and godlike benefits that come not only to the people of that family constellation, but all the people who know them. And it becomes utopian, is really what it is. So we'll celebrate. We'll start fresh with paradisal parity instead of plutonic patriarchal planetocide. Paradisal parity, here we come, here we are. Okay, and the kitty cats are coming in and out, but I'm not going to try to chase them and get them on the screen, but they're here. Donia Aurora Fleas and Maria Rainbow Sweetheart, Maria Rainbow Sweetheart and Donia Aurora Fleas. Say hi and hugs to Heather and Jam and Heather. And on behalf of Tiger and on Holly and Whiskers and Tiger and Holly and Tiger and Buttermilk and Black and Buttermilk and all the butterflies, all the flora and the fauna, the furry friends and family, and the butterflies, the birdies, and the bees, and all the people too of our local, global, and universal neighborhoods. And as you can see on the depiction of the graphic of the home that was the astral, we are intending to build a solar powered community garden and genealogical center there that is especially devoted to, and we have many women who are going to be inviting to these broadcasts who are especially skilled in helping women trace their female genealogy as well as all genealogy. And so that's what we're doing, and you're all included, and we love you, and you know we're going to co-host this and co-host with us on these broadcasts very soon. And so we'll say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'm again holding up the heart light and the marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and in water, and we'll say all the blessings and all the greetings of all of the languages of all of our heritage, of our earth and our earth's past, present, and future together as equinox, true cues, co-secretary generals, co-SZT. And we'll say that again. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious will say all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of all of our earth and our earth's past, present, future together, of all the as co-secretary generals, co-SZT, equinox, true cues. Now, for those of us, I try to reach out to everyone and let everyone know that they can call into this line and they can hear these as well as watch them online for people who don't have computers yet. It's best to get a computer. It's best to have a computer. You're living in the 21st century. Get with the program. And you have to protect the computer because the old guys are trying to balkanize that too, and that will destroy the greatest family reunion that ever existed, which is the internet. So I love you all, and I'm going to send this message, and I'm going to put the screen share back up, and I'm going to make a few individual calls while that's up, and I hope you enjoyed this, and you want you to come co-host this and co-host as soon as possible. Huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs. Let's put that screen share back up. And by the way, we did play the big musical medley at the very beginning of the broadcast. I didn't want to include that again because you heard that, and it's on the extension 2345555. I'm sorry, it's on 345555. 345555. On those who have the phone tree, you all have the number. Okay, there we go, and there we are, and we're going to go on mute now, make a couple of phone calls, and make sure you all know about this.